Hello and welcome today. Today, I'm going to talk about what career choices you can have after completing your PhD. I'm going to talk about 10 different options or choices that you can explore or start considering and start thinking about them while you are doing your PhD. Don't come to this and check it after you have completed. Because in today's session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what are the options you have and also mention what preparation you need to do to be ready for that after you have completed your PhD. And some of this preparation can take some time. So if you are in the first year of your PhD, I think that's the best time to watch this, or even before starting your PhD, because you can then explore that after completing your PhD, it is not only a job in academia that you can get, but there are other options as well that you can explore. All right, so let's get started. But before I start, I would like you to check out my other videos. I've done a lot of videos recently on various aspects of research, on PhD guidance, on industry-based research, on drafting research proposals, how to approach industry partners, how to get industry grants, different types of grants that are available in Australia, and so on and so forth. So all these videos are there on my YouTube channel. So do subscribe to my channel and follow my daily videos. I'm doing daily webinars in the month of March every day, every day at 8 p.m. Perth Australian time. So do join me for a live interactive discussion if you have any questions that you would like to get answered. All right, so let's get started in today's session. The first career choice that is pretty straightforward, I guess, is after completing your PhD, you can enter academia and start from assistant professor or a postdoc, assistant professor, associate professor, and a professor, or lecturer, senior lecturer, associate professor, and professor. So depending upon which part of the world you are, this could be the academic steps that you can take, right? So or the other option is to get into research, like you can start off with a research fellow, senior research fellow, and so on. So continue in the academic field, engaging in teaching, mentoring, and research. So that is the one of the career choices. When you're in academia, you would be involved in teaching as well as research. So what is it that you need to prepare to be ready for this position? And this is quite a competitive industry because there are very limited positions, and the number of PhDs that graduate every year far outweigh the number of positions that are created across universities around the world, which is why it is important to start exploring what other career choices you can have. And that is why I'm making this video. All right, so if you want to enter into academia, I think one of the most important thing that I can't stress more is having your research published in the top journals in your discipline. Yeah. So keep an eye on and plan, maybe discuss it with your supervisor at the start of your PhD, that one career option that I'm exploring at the end of PhD is to enter into academia. And for that, I need at least 3 or 4 good top publications during my PhD. So discuss that with your supervisor and make a plan to complete that or to achieve that target. And it is doable. Other students have done it. My students have done it, and they have also secured a job in university. One of my recent graduate who graduated last year got a job in the same university where I'm working right now. So it is possible. So don't be, as long as you plan properly, you should be able to do it. Another thing you can do is to gain teaching experience as a teaching assistant during your PhD time. So you will definitely be able to secure a teaching role, like managing a tutorial or conducting a lab. So take those opportunities, but don't overdo. Yeah, I see a lot of students start doing teaching and then they get distracted from their research. So the result is not going to be very good, because keep in mind, one of your primary objectives in a PhD is to finish your PhD on time and get those top journals. They count much more than whatever money that you can make from teaching during the course of PhD. Yeah. So be very methodical and be very strategic. That one PhD, one journal article in a top journal in a discipline could give you a job, which would be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that is the value of a top journal. Getting a top journal, you can't earn that by teaching during your PhD. So focus on publications, yeah, and do get teaching experience because that adds, but don't make that your priority. Other thing that you can do is to network at academic conferences, because if you want to connect, if you want to get into academia, you need to know people in your discipline, because these may be the people who may be on the interview panel when you're applying for a job. So if you know them, or if they have met you and they have known you in person, there will be at least some benefit for you when you are at the interview. Next is industry-based research. And I have, as I said earlier in the video, I have done a lot of webinars on this topic, because industry-based research is the next big thing that universities across the world are driving. They want the research that researchers do to be practical, applied, and beneficial to the society as such. And hence, doing industry-focused research is becoming very important. So during your PhD, if you can get the opportunity to work on an industry-funded research, I think go for it. Yeah, don't think twice. Go for it, because that will open up your second career choice after your PhD. Because if you have worked on a industry-based research and you have delivered it to your industry partners' expectations, you have built a credibility that you can do it. And when you apply for a role in industry in the research department in their R&D facility, you will have an upper hand compared to other PhDs who may not have experience working in an industry setting. Work in research and development departments of corporations, applying research skills to solve real-world problems. So this is what industry-based research is all about. What preparation you need is to gain practical experience through internships, learn industry-specific tools and technologies, and build a professional network in your field of interest. So keep that in mind. There are many different tools that industries use, or softwares that industries use, that universities may not have, right? One of the reasons could be the subscription fees, or the cost of acquisition of some of these softwares can be very high and can be very large. So only companies may be able to afford it. So if you get an opportunity to work on an industry internship, try to see what all different software applications you can learn during that internship. Although it may or may not be part of your internship, you can always ask that I would like to make myself familiar with this and this software, because we do not have it at the university. And I hope if I learn this, it will be beneficial for me in my career in the future. So you can negotiate or talk to your industry partner on these fronts and make the maximum value out of your industry internship. Next is policy analysis. So this is where you analyze policies for government agencies, for think tanks, and provide evidence-based recommendations. Evidence-based recommendation is very important, and one of my very famous webinar series on my YouTube channel is on doing systematic literature reviews. Systematic literature reviews are the way of doing evidence-based research and making recommendations based on that. So do check out those videos, because you may not realize that when you are actually doing a systematic literature review, even for your PhD, the output of that is very useful. And in one of my earlier videos, I gave example of my another PhD student who recently joined a government department in Australia, in Perth, and his job there is to do a systematic review of all the existing information, all the existing literature on what technologies are there that exist to make the building more energy efficient. So what retrofitting technologies are there that we can put on existing buildings to make them more energy efficient. And his role as part of his team is to find out what techniques are there and come up with a policy recommendation for the government, so that the buildings in Australia can use it. So you can imagine the impact of your research that can happen if you do that kind of research. So doing a systematic literature review is not only for your PhD, but it is equally important in real world applications. All right, so keep that in mind. If you haven't watched that video, it is a 15-hour video. Let me be upfront. And there are five series, five webinars in that. And in each webinar, I talk about one stage of the systematic literature review. So if you are in your PhD, I strongly recommend you check out those videos on my YouTube channel. In terms of what preparation you need to develop a strong foundation in statistical analysis and public policy, engage in internships with government or non-government organizations, and stay updated with current policies and regulations. So that's pretty straightforward. Three things I would suggest you can do in preparation for this kind of a role. And actually, you can also go and talk to people who are currently in that role, in that position. What is it that they do? You can reach out to them on LinkedIn saying that I'm currently a PhD scholar working on this and this, and one of my ambition is to get into a role similar like you. What would you suggest me I should do during my PhD so that I'll be capable to come into that role or fit for that role post my PhD qualifications? So you can reach out to that. I think, like what I said every time, that networking is very essential for whatever you do. Next is patent law or intellectual property. You could work on patenting inventions, copyrights, and trademark law, often requiring additional qualifications in law. See, one thing that you can do if you do not want to get a qualification in law, but you can learn how to write patents. It is similar to writing a research paper, but it is a different skill altogether. So although you may not be able to finish the complete proposal and you would need to get a patent attorney later down the track, but if you do that initial groundwork to prepare your patent, it will simplify a lot of it will reduce the work that is required for the patent attorney to do. Yeah, so that is a skill. There are some workshops that you can take which will teach you the basics of filing patents and copyrights and trademarks. Consider taking courses or earning a certificate in intellectual property law. I think this is becoming very important if you are considering, especially emerging areas where there is still not enough clarity on specific technical aspects. There, this kind of courses are also very useful. Next is consulting. That's pretty straightforward. Provide expert advice in your area of expertise to business and organizations. So as you are pursuing your PhD, and this actually applies even to non-PhDs, right? Anyone who is studying in any specific degree that you're doing now, what you're doing through that program or that degree is you are gaining expertise in a very specific niche topic. And that topic is something that you need to be the world's best person on that. That's what I say. I mean, you should be known for that. Yeah. So keep that in mind. That is what you should be your ultimate objective for whichever area of expertise, no matter how small. Yeah. It doesn't have to be broad. It actually, the smaller, the more niche, the better. Yeah. Because that makes you very special, and that opens up consulting opportunities for you where businesses or companies would hire you for that specific skill that you possess. What could you do in preparation? I guess in consulting, in this role, there is a lot of things that you can prepare, but I got some examples here. Develop strong analytical problem-solving skills. Communication skills are very important because it is not only whenever you're consulting, you're actually communicating a lot, talking to a lot of people during this work. How can you do this? Gain experience through internships or projects and build a strong professional network. See, networking comes up again and again. So, it is kind of one of the foundations of career preparation for your preparing for your career. So here, analytical problem-solving skills, communication skills, and networking. So all those things you need to get into the good consulting space. All right, another area which is of interest is science, communication, and journalism. So what does this role or this career look like? So here what you would be doing is you will translate complex scientific information into accessible language so that public could understand it easily. This could be done through writing, through broadcasting, or on social media. So journalists, specifically those that are academic journalists, will interview researchers at universities, and whenever researchers have made a groundbreaking research and they want to do a press release, at that time these journalists would respond to that press release, and they would say, okay, I would like to uh, interview you, know more about your research. And then they will so that is the role, that is the career. They take complex scientific ideas and present it in a simple, easy to understand language that anyone can understand. Maybe it is on radio, it is on TV, it is on newspaper, it is on social media, wherever it happens to be. The core message and presenting that in a simplified way is the role that you can aim for. In Australia, for example, we have a website called as The Conversation. And this is where academics write articles. Maybe single academic or a group will write an article which is scientifically backed by their research. So it is not just a news article, it is a article based upon research. So what would you need to get prepared for this role is to develop writing and communication skills. As I said, journalism is about writing and about talking or speaking, right? Start a blog, contribute to a science magazine, and gain experience through internships in media companies. So here the internship is in a different industry, right? It is not in an company where you are going to do research, but you're specifically looking for an internship where you can build your journalist skills, right? Where you can build your writing and communication skills. You can understand how the media industry works, what are their timelines, what are their targets, why there is always they are very fast paced. So all these things you can learn if you can get an internship in these companies. See, remember, one thing is that a lot of internships that are targeted for PhD students would not fall in this category, right? So you have to take an active step to look for internships that are with media companies, right? So keep an eye out for that. If it is not advertised, just check out on the media companies if they are going to advertise any relevant positions. Next is entrepreneurship. You could start your own business or venture, potentially based on your PhD research. And there have been many successful examples of companies that have started based upon PhD research that was done at universities. So that could be your another opportunity or a career direction. And as an entrepreneur, you need to know how the business operates. You need to know in and out. Not you are kind of a jack of all trades at the start when you are managing like literally everything in your business. So you need to understand business fundamentals, entrepreneurship, attend workshop or courses on how to start and manage a business, how to manage finances, how to do admin, how to do marketing, advertising, everything. That is all you need to run a proper business. If you're considering this seriously, you should also consider joining an incubator or an accelerator program, because they will provide you guided training on achieving the best outcome on your entrepreneurial venture based upon your PhD research. Non-profit sector. You could work in organizations that focus on social, environmental, cultural, and humanitarian missions. If this is something kind of drives you or motivates you, or you're passionate about this topic, then this area, then I think this could also be a very good career choice. What could you do for preparing this? Volunteer or intern with non-profit organizations, understand grant writing and fundraising strategies, and develop project management skills. I have done many videos earlier in this month on how to prepare for a grant, how to write a research proposal for a grant. So review that, listen to those videos, because you would need to gain those skills if you want to plan on this, and write some small grants during your PhD. It may be a small travel grant or a conference attendance grant or some small community grant or a volunteer grants that are offered by volunteering organizations. Apply for those small grants. It will give you the skill to write a grant, convey your ideas, basically pitch why you should receive that grant funding. Okay, so once you do it for small grants, you will build the confidence to do bigger grants. Next is data science and analytics. So this is the thing that I guess every PhD scholar should learn, basics of data science and analytics. This would involve some level of coding and programming, but now with advanced AI, AI could do a lot of coding for you as long as you know how to stitch different pieces of code together. Yeah. So take on some courses maybe on Python or some basic programming. Python is the go-to language for a lot of PhD or scientific programming. So learn that. Is not that difficult, but it is not that easy as well. But if you are committed and just follow any online course or instructions on how to program, you can get a lot done, and complement that with AI to help you in this. It will be even faster and even better. With data analysis, you could analyze large data sets to inform decision making in various sectors. And imagine combining data science with systematic literature review. When you are analyzing your research or your systematic reviews, there is a lot of analysis also happening. Yeah, because in the end you are answering a question for your systematic literature review. And if you can use existing large data sets, or you have the data analysis or data science skills, you can make the evidence-based research and recommendation very confidently and in a very high quality. Learn languages like Python and R, statistics, do some machine learning, data visualization. Data visualization is pretty straightforward. You have access to data, maybe in Excel sheet or CSV files or any other database. You import that data into any visualization tool and run different reports or generate different graphs to just analyze that information in a visual way. There are many courses that you can do for all these things. It's pretty straightforward. Just pick and choose whichever is the most popular or the one that has got lots of good reviews. Okay, and finally, the last one I would say is you have the option also to work for government or public sector, where you can work in various capacities in different government agencies, where you can contribute to policy development, research, or diplomacy. I gave you example earlier on as well of how one of my earlier PhD student works in a government and is leading the policy reform for energy efficient buildings through his skill in systematic literature reviews. In preparation, you have to understand the civil service examinations, if there are any in your country, and apply for the process, whatever is the right process within your country. Sometimes it is a direct application. In some countries, you have to appear for an exam to be eligible to work in the government, and so on. All right, so that is all I had in this session for you today. I hope these 10 career directions help you to kind of frame your thought process while you are in your PhD to decide where is it that you want to go. Working after PhD, working in academia is just one of the 10 options that I have presented. So just 10%. So always keep an eye of how or what interests you in the other 9 areas that I suggested, and see and try to secure some internships across these different industries or career choices, because it will help you to learn more, and you could probably make a much better and informed decision as to what you want to do once you finish your PhD. All right, I hope this was an interesting and engaging session for you all. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. I'll be more than happy to share my thoughts and insights to answer your question. Also, do suggest if there are any other videos that you would like me to make, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Bye.